NBA 2K25 gameplay. You're going to be watching my Knicks play against Philly for a little while I discuss all the things confirmed today. When you were watching this video, they had over 100 content creators come over to 2K Community Day event, play the game early for over 10 hours. They made a bunch of footage and they broke down in a bunch of videos. I took the time to take notes on what is confirmed, and this video will have you covered with all that. We just got partnered with YouTube. Super excited about that. So we're going to be bringing you top tier stuff as far as not only content, but we're going to have events for the community, giveaways, and much more. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk about it. We're gonna probably do some VC giveaways. I was gonna do away some game codes, but looks like VC is the way to go. We're gonna kind of split it up and give you guys a bunch of giveaways throughout the time. So that's coming very soon. So stay tuned. All right, let's get into number one out of 1,000 things that I want to talk about today and get into. First things first, go into the description. I have a list of all of the creators. I mean, all of them who ended up coming to the community day, and you can just see for yourself and basically check their videos and check all that information out. It's a lot. It's a lot of them, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick look at that just so you can see and say, "Oh, okay, I got you." This is the list right here. It's on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, it's fine. I'm going to break everything down, but as you can see, there's everybody that you can name is in here. So make sure you lock in for all that information and stay tuned for it. I'm trying to give you all the best coverage, and this is important. Show love to those creators. So this information comes from each and every one of them, and I'm not going to name one because we'll be here for the whole video. But if you want to just check them out yourself, go ahead. All right, here it goes. Number officially starting over. One again. We're going to talk about confirmations, and we're going to start off with the takeover. Takeover is very different this year. So, a couple of notes. First and foremost, it's not like last year. You can't lose the full takeover. So, basically, you have to earn it once you get it by doing good things, just like last year and just previous games. You can keep it. But if you do something like miss shots, do some take turnovers, you're going to drop down. All right. There's 5 levels to the takeovers, as we know, and you'll drop down just enough to get back to where you were before you got it. And what's crazy is if you do some good things without making mistakes, you'll end up getting the takeover again. So it's kind of like an in-game buff to continue to get your takeover. You just got to keep playing good. And this is actually like a plus. I know it's going to be like a superpower, and we're going to probably find ways to abuse it. But I think this is exciting because top players who are not doing bad things will end up being more powerful. And it's just a matter of like who's a good player and who can handle it. Another thing they confirmed is during play now, you couldn't get the takeover very fast. But when they went into the park and they did threes, you got it pretty quickly. So to me, that is important. And this is a couple of tips about takeover just to make sure you guys are locked in and ready to go. Basically, don't get no turnovers, don't miss a lot, and you're gonna have your takeover over and over again. There is one catch. You can actually lose it over time. There's no confirmation on how long each of them are or anything like that. It just happens. So there goes that. And now I want to jump into shooting. This is a long topic, but there's a lot of different facts in here and information. Shooting overall is faster. If you're watching the game, you don't have to have somebody tell you that. I'm watching the game. And so a bunch of shots that you normally take with players that you feel like that's such a long shot. Last year there was some long shots I really didn't like. Some players that I thought had good jumpers felt a little weird. And this year it looks like everybody's jumper is just sped up a little bit, a little cleaner, less animation and more motion and flow to it. And so I love that. That's going to help everybody, in my opinion. I want to talk about 2 badges. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but set shot and Swifty shooter. You guys know these badges. I have the badge video breakdown. I explained that you can't activate them both at the same time. Set shot is when you're standing still and you shoot. And Swifty is for when you're off dribble, spins and things like that. You're going to be able to do a lot of movement. Now, the reason why I want to bring that up first is because these 2 are very powerful, and they're going to be the most important, essential, in my opinion, most essential in the game for you as a player overall. I think it's going to be critical. So make sure you have that and you utilize it properly. Then we're going to get into shot canceling. I don't even want to show the footage. There's some footage out there, guys. And I mean, like some hardcore, I can't believe it's not butter footage that is pretty broken, let's just say. And it has to do with Trey Young. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you guys very quickly. I check this out. It's from 2K Labs. It's not about what they put out, but this is Trey Young traveling. He basically picks the ball up with his right hand, grabs it with his left, and then dribbles again. So, um, if the animation makes it so that he pushes the ball that way without grabbing it, then it's a legal move, by the way. But you got to be very careful with that because the refs can call, something. If he's using his elbow, for example, like a Jason Kidd pass. Do you guys remember Jason Kidd? If you guys don't know, he did elbow passes from behind. And so if that's kind of what he does, then it's not a travel. But in this one, it looks like he uses his hand rather than his elbow or something to push the ball. But you can do this play with your elbow legally and get a good going. And it's not easy, but it's doable. So I would say, yeah, if he uses forearms, elbow, that's the justification that I'm using right now. It doesn't mean that it's a good justification, but it's pretty much a travel. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because shot canceling was one of my favorite announcements in the game. To be honest, that's kind of what I was like. Oh my gosh, I love shot canceling, hop jumper shot cancels, all that hop jumper cancels, all of that to me is awesome. It's fun, but I'm a little bit afraid. I'm just gonna be honest. It could be a dangerous thing for us. But yeah. So imagine all the other moves that you can do. I mean, like literally hundreds of moves that you're capable of just by using that. So I definitely see the possibility of something crazy with shot canceling on a bunch of different guys, not just Trey Young. So look into that. And then we're going to talk about rhythm shooting and shooting in general. If you guys don't notice, there's a meter that says tempo. Okay, tempo. Not only tempo, but it also talks about push timing. Push timing is what we all know. That's pretty much what the release of your shot. But tempo is about the right stick, and it's really about how fast you shot it. And of course, if you're shooting with square, this doesn't relate to you, so don't worry. Just worry about your shot timing. But the right stick tempo thing is very interesting, and I got to see, how we can utilize that and make it overpowered in some kind of way. I always adjust the 2K games, so regardless if it's hard or it's not useful, YouTubers are expressing that they didn't like the tempo because it's like, oh my gosh, I got to think about my timing and my tempo. It's too much, and I disagree. I think that it's a skill gap. If it's more powerful than hidden square, then I'm going for it. But if it's not a reliable thing, then we're not going to bother. And so that's pretty much it. Same thing with the rhythm shooting, and that's what I'm talking about here is being able to use that rhythm shot, your signature shots, doing the right stick. It's gonna be helpful for a lot of you guys. All right, dribbling, another big topic. This one gets a little crazy. People can agree to disagree, and like, first of all, I just want to clarify something, man. Speed boosting isn't what you guys think it is. A lot of uneducated basketball fans don't know. Listen, in real life, there's a thing called pacing. Okay. Guys like Kyrie will slow down, he will slow cross to the left, force a player to kind of go at his speed, and then quickly hit another cross or something and move turbo speed to the other side. And you can call it speed boosting, you can call it whatever you want, but it's a bad toxic word in the 2K community for some. Personally, I don't look at it like that. It's just another terminology for different pacing, and it's important. So that is in the game. There's multiple ways to do that. I'm going to explain it in detail, but I wanted to start off with that. So basically, with speed boosting, the way it works, last year we were able to speed boost out of a bunch of different moves in different ways, but now there's specific moves so far confirmed that you can speed boost out of. For example, the escape you can speed boost out of. Basically, you go into an escape by canceling the right stick and then move in the same direction like a hezi, and then move the left stick as well in that direction. So you're gonna move the right stick twice towards the direction you want to go. To have a hezi and then a left stick once. So basically, you should be fine with that. And then the same thing for your sig size up. Flick the stick up. Wait a second. Hit the left stick and turbo towards the direction you want to go as you hit the hezis and stuff. So I'll have a full guide. I didn't play it, and this was just me asking somebody what did they feel like was working, and they said those are the only two that they felt at the moment. And you got guys like Joe Knows, you got guys like Simply Grinding, and so much more. I watched some of their stuff. They didn't really break that down into detail, but they showcased some of it, what I saw, and I like it. And I know I'm gonna break the game, and you guys know I'm gonna show y'all the best possible dribbles. All right, we're not here to break the game in a bad way. We're here to give you the best possible gameplay. Talking about that, there's new systems for dribbling. It's a little bit different than last year. So, don't go into it thinking, it's the same as last year. There's some changes, okay? Shot canceling being one of them, of course. But what I like about it is that you can speed boost out of that, okay? Or you could shoot. And so that's critical. I've watched gameplay, and you're watching some here, where people were doing it pretty much shot canceling and then just speed boosting out of it, which is important for the game. Personally, I love that. I want to talk about things that are back. The hop back LeBron is definitely back. The John Wall snatchback is back. The Trey Young size up escape and his hezi is crazy. It has a misdirecting. There's the Aaron Fox, all his moves are amazing. And then Giannis's cross launch is insane. So, but I just want to see it against players. Remember, everything that they played, most of it was offline against the AI. So let's not like hold these guys hostage to their words, guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take anything they say like if they're, the developers, and even the developers won't know what we could do until we get our hands on it. There's a crazy glitch. Seen multiple clips of this on Twitter where you can use your aggressive breakdown combo. If you guys remember that from last year, holding turbo on the right stick up, and now you can cancel that and then redo it again. And so there's going to be some glitchy moves and craziness. You got to use what's in the game, guys. And I think we're going to have fun with that and try some different things. Definitely. So you can also do explosive behind the back and then a hezi and spam that back and forth, and you're good to go. And they talked about L2 cancel, and it's not officially in the game, supposedly. Honestly, I think they just didn't have enough time, right? I'm not defending these creators, right? As far as like giving us the information, they did everything that they can. There's a lot of information here that I have, but that's one thing that I'm curious. I'm gonna test out first thing and see how we do. Quick stop is in the game. It's a little bit tricky. You have to move diagonal up, but quick stop is definitely in the game. There was a conversation about it's better for smaller guards than faster ones. Fasters can't stop as fast or things like that. And I don't know if that's true. It's like the real physics, how shorter people are lowered to the ground. If it's true, then cool. I mean, get yourself a small player, but I like bigger guards personally for defense reasons and just overall. But we'll see. Something I saw someone do for a quick stop, just a little quick note. I saw someone fake pass and have a quick stop shot right there. It was amazing. And I was like, okay, this is the way I'm going to do it so far until I get my hands on it and figure it out for myself. So, yeah, that is that when it goes down. And then, of course, they tested things like the drop step in the paint. I thought that was outrageous. Definitely interested in that because you know how drop step goes. Let's go ahead and watch some Golden State and Phoenix here. Shout out to the homie Steph Blurry with these clips here. But back into the breakdown here. Drop steps are very strong. They were talking about the standing dunks and how good there still are. as long as you can get people in the animation. They didn't do the exact same Kobe one, but basically drop stepping is close enough. So we'll see how that works. They said physical layups are nice. They feel really good. And the post moves are crazy as usual. A lot of us community members, like myself, a dribblehead, kind of get mad at post move players, but it's not their fault. They're doing a different style of a game. It's fun for them, and that's how they like to play. And I think it's awesome. We should recommend and compliment other play styles and not kind of to down talk them. So it's exciting that the devs are thinking about that. They should do that for every type of play style, in my opinion. We're going to talk about defense. This is a crazy topic for me because I never trust nobody. I don't trust no devs, no creators. All y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I mean that with respect, as far as like, you guys probably know way more than me about a lot of things. But with defense, I feel like it's so hard to say, you know, the person's rocking a 6'10" player with 80 for this and that and 99 that. And so their judgment is different than your judgment. I can take a player with no defense and still lock someone up and force them to pass the ball. A good point guard. They get frustrated with me. In 2K right now, every year, I do that because I make an offensive guard and I see how my defense is. And then when I have defense, I'm really stealing the ball so many times. Almost get a double-double with just steals. Double digits. But so let's get into it. I just want to say that off the bat because I want to protect any content creator that I'm saying to go watch their content. It might not be accurate. So here it goes. So agility is going to affect your side to side a lot, supposedly. This is like they felt the difference and they felt really good on defense when they had agility high. I don't know if that's true. We got to test it, but we'll see. And then they explain that, you know, speed, the actual attribute, will allow you to go faster when you're going up and down the court mostly. And so anytime you're going left and right, it's going to be a problem. But for speed, you want to have speed. If you're a defender, you want speed and agility. And it makes sense logically. And I think 2K, that's their goal. But again, we have to test this stuff in game and see what works. I don't like saying yes, yes. And then you guys make a build and waste a 95 attribute on something that isn't useful. So we'll find out. Another thing that I can confirm that they did say and that is actually true from what I've seen so far with this play now. Remember, we don't have the builders, so we're not doing exact setups, but it was from what I've seen, plucks weren't as strong as last year. And I think any game, right? Last year was the most powerful steals I think we've had in a long time. But you have to body somebody up to try to get the steal this year. And I like that better than the plucks. Good defense should be rewarded, you know. Trying to steal the ball isn't always the best. A lot of times I'll ride somebody's body on defense in real life. I'm pretty good defensively. And once I get pressed on them and they're moving a certain way, I can strip the ball from them because I'm forcing them to one side. And that's how you steal the ball a lot. You know, you clip one hand and just press on them and then try to steal. And in the game, it feels like that's what they're trying to do. But until we get those online matches and you let me full court press you with at least a 90 steal, we'll see about that. Because, you know, when you're playing comp, guys are specialists. So we'll find out. Another big topic that they said, and I seen some of it, which looked really good, was the help defense. So if you're helping out on defense for a block, you can get the block a lot better, they said, this year. So helping on D is very key. It's going to let you get those somewhat called chase downs, but they're more just like help D. And I think I've seen like 5 different videos from different people just playing the game. And I was like, oh, wow, they're getting these off ball blocks. And that's pretty tight, in my opinion. I'm down for it. And that's it for defense. Now we're going to get into the dunk meter. All right. One of the things with the dunk meter is that forget about the animations and all that stuff. They talked about how the game has changed when it comes to the dunks. You have more accessibility when you are open. You're going to automatically dunk it mostly. It's not going to be hard. Sometimes it would be a little clunky where the dude's behind me, but I'm still getting contested somehow. It's like, wait a minute. wasn't as consistent. So it looks like it's possibly more consistent with that. And another thing was being able to use dunk meter from further out. The biggest tip is what you got to do it from a little further out than what you would expect. Don't be in the paint and then press it. You have to be outside to get really good launches from further out. And that makes perfect sense. I do that all the time, anyways, to get those clean dunks ahead of time before somebody can contest me. And so, personally, I'm excited to see what could happen and how that works out. But lots of information to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about that wasn't here from the creators, but something that's important is the Rebirth system. Basically, the developer said that this year, when you rebirth, you're going to get silver badges, which is nice. Then they also said that you are basically going to match the overall that you had before. So basically, if you have a 99, anything above a 90 or up, you can get that same one. So for your new build, you can reach there right away instantly. Supposedly, if I read that correctly, and that was a Zach Zimmerman post, and hopefully he ain't lying. I don't think he's lying, by the way. But so that's just something to think about and to see for yourself when the time comes, because we gotta find out. And that's pretty much the rundown. I do want to showcase one more thing for one more topic to discuss here with y'all. Shooting, right? So shooting has a new system. You can see right here, this profile is interesting. We kind of had that a little bit inside the actual shot creator, and they bringing it out now to a setting in the menu. And the profile thing, I don't know how I feel about this. All right, it says low risk. You know, you're gonna be able to have easier chances to get whites to go in, kind of. And then they talked about the high risk where it's going to be green only. But what people are saying, and this is from the creators, again, I haven't played the game, so I can't tell you my opinion on it. What they were saying is, yes, you could basically put it on high risk and it's like normal. It's like you're shooting, you know, to hit the green. It's going to be a smaller green, but it's going to be the same in that regard. And so I'm not sure until I test this thoroughly. I want it out of the game, and I just want it to be skill based, like player based. Got to hit your shot or not. One thing for everybody. Shouldn't be a variety where I'm gonna probably select a different profile because it's easier to shoot with. That's not a thing, you know, in the competitive scene at least. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. But other than that, these are literally every single detail from the event that I can confirm that makes sense and that is real. I didn't put any of the this is the greatest game ever. I didn't put any of that funny stuff because I don't know what 2K this is, right? Like, is it gonna be one of the best ever? I know I'm gonna have me a good time regardless. I always have fun with video games, but will it be my favorite? That's another conversation. We'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. How you feeling about all these confirmed information from the creators? By the time this comes out, it's the morning of. I'm going to make another video breaking down all of the awesome news from the builder. And you guys know me, I make crazy builds. So we're going to dive deep into that. I'm going to break that down and give you all the information you need. So make sure you check that out. It should be popping up on your screen. If not, go check it out on the channel. See you there. Peace.